It's time for Southern Kentucky's Great Outdoors on ESPN 1027 FM. Brought to you by Bowling Green Refrigeration, Heating and Cooling and Renegade Marine and Outdoor Center. With your host, Brian Webb. Also starring John Kirby and Sergeant J.D. Williams from Mohawk Outdoors. Josh Honeycutt from Realtree Outdoors. Also made possible by Swagger Bipods, the Van Store Bowling Green and Glasgow. Your Can-Am headquarters. Introducing Pabst Beef Jerky. Our national sponsor, Big & J Long Range Attractants. Segments in part by Rockcastle Shooting Center, The Rock, and Renegade Marine, featuring Realtree's Michael Pendley Timber 2 Table Wild Game Recipes. Made possible by Outback Steakhouse, Bowling Green. And all phone interviews via the Linex of Bowling Green hotline. Get ready for all things outdoors. Here's your host, Brian Webb.
I am Southern Kentucky Great Outdoors. I am your spirit of the wild, my brother. God bless America. God bless Kentucky. God bless working hard, playing hard, American families in the asset column. We are blood brothers.
Yeah, welcome to another edition, Southern Kentucky's Great Outdoors, SOKY's Outdoors, SOKY Outdoors. We have a lot of different names. Been doing it a long, long time, and we're loving it. And tonight's no exception to the rule. Got a great show. In the dog days of summer, John Kirby. It's a little warm out there. What are you and Honeycutt doing? Because we're going to get into some things, what not to do, I think, during the hunting segment, which is going to be moved up a little bit tonight because...
Yeah. Right now I'm sipping some Lipton raspberry tea.
Looks pretty good.
No chaser.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's dog days of summer, no doubt. And Josh and I, we talk a lot about how-tos and what to do. And tonight we're going to maybe just touch on some stuff not to do between now and opening day of bow season.
It's real bad stuff.
Well, it's good because people need to hear that. You know, especially your novice guy like me. If I was starting a deer hunt, I wouldn't know those things to eliminate the problems. It takes out trial and error, Josh, and a lot of times it takes years. Like you and Kirby, I mean, years in this doing this thing.
Oh, I screw up every day.
Yeah, I still do too, and not in the hunting category because I don't do that. But I tell you, tonight's gonna be fun because we got Nick and Nate. They're gonna recap their trip down to Dale Hall of Dave, John. I can't wait to. First of all, they look like they had a blast. 20+ smallies that day, along with it looked like a sauger and some other things.
Yeah, they caught. I believe they caught a couple of walleyes and maybe a lake trout too. Looks like they had a great day. I'm looking forward to hearing what they about their adventures and hanging out with Dale Holiday.
Absolutely, and we're going to get Dale Holiday on the line as long as we don't have to use the Linex hotline for Nate in case they're coming in hot, because at 6 o'clock is the Rockcastle Gun Show, another staple. ESPN. First of all, the only sports network in Bowling Green, which is cool. So you got to pretty much tune in here if you're going to get your sports. You can get it a few other ways, but we do it right. You got G-Man here with some great shows, Sportsline, Wes Strader, keeping that alive and going, which is awesome. Great show. And then also here comes the Hilltoppers, and guess what that means? That means Topper Tailgate's coming, all those things. Football's coming, and then your WKU show, Red Towel Radio, Garrett. So a lot of stuff, a lot of things to do. Bratcher's staring at me like... I
got breaking news, dog.
Bring it in. You got breaking news? I don't say beep, 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 beep.
If you bought tickets for wrestling Saturday, you ain't going to see wrestling because they just hollered at us and canceled.
What?
Yes.
How do you cancel WWE?
They say a scheduling conflict. They told us to kill the commercial and to tell everyone if they bought tickets to return to their point of purchase for a refund. And I was just getting ready to give away some on the point. Boo.
This is not the Hillbilly Jim days.
Yeah. Somebody get Hillbilly Jim on the phone.
I hate to break it to you, but this affects me in no way.
I guarantee you somebody listening was excited about going to WWE. I've been to it when it was here. It's pretty daggone fun. You know, I mean, it's not bad at all. We're going to get Michael Pendley, Timber to Table on, brought to you by Outback Steakhouse. It's Walkabout Wednesdays, and it's funny that we have this show on Wednesdays, so that's cool. But you can get Josh. I know you gotta love Outback, man. You like Outback?
Yeah.
I didn't ask you that pre-show, so I mean I didn't know for sure, but I figured you did because how could you not? Walkabout Wednesdays, you get one of two classic entrees, John Kirby. You can get the I think it's chicken. Let me look here. I know you can get a steak.
Can you pet the Willoughbys over there?
if they have if they have them, I would like. They have had some roos over there, some kangaroos.
That's kind of like a Willoughby.
I bet Penley's petted a few kangaroos. Hey, 6-ounce center cut.
Or maybe
sirloin.
cooked a few.
That's what I meant to say, but then I wondered if that was good to say. Grilled chicken on the bobby. Put another chicken on the bobby. But right now, Linex Hotline, without any further ado, Michael Penley, Timber to Table, Realtree Outdoors. What's up, man?
How's it going, guys?
It's going good. We're just wondering if John wants to know if you ever cooked a kangaroo.
I've eaten kangaroo, but I've not cooked one.
I'll be dang. What's it taste like? Chicken?
It's like real stringy beef. It's kind of tough, kind of chewy.
How do you cook kangaroo drumsticks?
I don't know. You have to cook those low and slow, that's for sure.
Is that something they eat quite a lot over down under, Michael?
Yeah, they do. Slow. They eat a lot of it over there, and a lot of people make jerky out of them too. They make pretty decent jerky. So.
Well, when you try some jerky, try Pabst beef jerky, fueling your outdoor lifestyle.
Perfect little segue there, Webb. We teed you up for that one, buddy.
Yeah, you did, man.
Michael Penley, what's going on in your world, man?
Oh, not much. Summer's winding down. It'll be fall before you know it. At least I hope. I'm ready for fall. But we've got a few blackberries that are still hanging around. So this week, today's Timber to Table post, we took a few blackberries and put them in the food processor with some sugar. Kind of whirled them up a little bit, made a paste out of them. Then we put that in a wire strainer and used a rubber spatula to press the pulp through the strainer, but keep the seeds inside. Just had the blackberry pulp. We mixed up a batch of fresh lemonade, fresh squeezed lemons, sugar, simple syrup. Everybody knows how to make lemonade. Put that blackberry in it, and then we added some Sprite. And it makes just a real nice summer punch. If you're having people over or cooking out for a barbecue, make up a big picture and let everybody just pour what they want. And the good thing is, if you're doing an adults-only crowd, you can take the Sprite out and
now you're talking.
Sparkling wine or champagne in there, something for a little fizz. Or you can leave the Sprite in and add a cup of bourbon or a cup of vodka or tequila, whatever you like, to make the adult version of it. So it's just a good, real simple drink.
Now we know what Penley's hunt camps look like.
There you go.
I'm going, except I want 180 proof moonshine when I.
That works in it pretty well too. So.
We do need to all get together for hunting camp, maybe dove season or something. But we all need to get together and hang out some, see what kind of trouble we can get into.
I'm all for it. Fire up the grill and cook some stuff and have a good time.
No question.
Hey, Michael, what are a couple of recipes? Maybe just as far as deer meat. Say you want to clean out what you have left over from the previous year, or maybe even the year before that. In preparation for this coming season, what are some dishes you'll make with different cuts of deer meat that's maybe been in the freezer for a little while and you want to go ahead and get it eaten?
Yeah, we're doing a lot of that right now, trying to clean out as much of the freezer as possible, get ready for season. And you can always take some of those roasts that you got frozen and slice those up with jerky because, hunting season's coming up and everybody's going to need some jerky. So it's a good time to make up a couple batches of that. You can always thaw those roasts out and cube them up and can them, pressure can. We got a recipe coming up next week where we take some pressure canned venison and cook a few vegetables with it and put in some barley and dump that in there and let it simmer for about 30, 40 minutes. And it's a really good soup that doesn't take any time at all to make if you use that canned venison in it. We're making a lot of sausages this time of year. Anything that uses up a big batch of venison, it's good to clear that freezer out. So,
what about canning proteins, Michael? Is that something you do quite a bit on a regular basis?
We do. We can some fish from time to time. We can lots of venison. Of course, it's handy for just about anything. You can mix up a batch of mashed potatoes and heat up a jar of canned venison and pour that over the mashed potatoes, and you're good to go for a meal. A lot of times we'll just take it for lunch and eat it right out of the jar with a fork. It makes a handy lunch when you're out hunting out in the field. But, yeah, you can can fish. You can can just about any kind of meat. You will need a pressure canner to do it because it's, it's not high enough acid like tomatoes or something like that you can do it without a pressure canner. But as long as you got a pressure canner, then, like the Presto or Miro or any of the major brands are easy to use. They're pretty safe now. You don't have to worry about them blowing up like you used to, 40, 50 years ago.
Like a Pinto?
Yeah, exactly.
What about, Michael? I've seen some people here lately on the Facebook there making some stews. These were probably the beef stew variety, but I know it translates into like a deer stew or any kind of wild game. Will they cook that ahead of time and then can that?
No. If you're going to can it, and we've got one of those coming up too. We've got a venison and vegetable soup. The garden's coming on pretty good right now, so it's a good time to use up some of those garden vegetables too. But you can put everything in the jar raw, and heat and the pressure from pressure cooking cooks everything inside the jar. So
really?
You don't have to pre-cook anything, no.
Cool, I did not know that. I wondered about that. I've seen a lot of that lately.
Yeah, same with venison. You just pack it in there raw and put it in the pressure cooker. Mine, they're all a little bit different depending on pressure and the way they're made. But mine takes about 90 minutes for pints, and then you let it rest, another half hour or so for the pressure to relieve. And then, you're good to go. They're going to seal. You're going to hear them audibly pop when they seal. And then they're shelf stable for years. So,
man, I will say this, Michael. I've never. I can make about 4 dishes. John, I don't know how much you cook. You cook probably more than I do.
No, not a lot. I will cook some wild game on occasion and run the grill sometimes for my wife. But my wife's a pretty good cook, man.
I ran into that same thing.
Right.
Why jump in if there's no need for you, and yours doesn't come out as good as theirs do? It kind of defeats the purpose. So I wanted to tell you this. Over the years, with you, Penley, you have inspired me. I am starting to check out pots and pans and different things and how to, roll stuff in cornmeal. I'm starting to learn to do things, and I would never have been inspired had I not met you.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Did you see that steak last night that I cooked?
I saw that, Michael.
God.
That made me want to rush out and get a really nice cast iron
Pan fry. Ain't nothing better.
Yeah.
Ain't much better. That's how Ruth's Chris does it. They butter pan fry them.
It puts that crust on there, doesn't it, Michael?
Solid heat like that. You got to do this outside. You can't do it inside because it does smoke a lot. And you can see in those pictures I posted on Facebook, you get some flames popping up in there because the skillet's so hot. Yeah. But I'll fire up my, the burner that goes on my turkey fryer. I'll take the pot of the turkey fryer off, set that skillet directly on that burner, turn it on high, and probably, leave it 10 minutes or so. Let it get red, scalding hot. And don't put anything in it. If you use the ribeye we had last night, it only takes, it's got plenty of fat in it. You put that steak in there, and that fat immediately starts to melt. And that's plenty of fat in the pan. You don't have to add anything else. And I kind of like mine rare, so I cook them 2 or 3 minutes per side, and you get that perfect crust on the outside. If you want them just a little more done, have your oven preheated to 350. And after you flip them and it sits there for a couple minutes on each side, run it inside and stick it in the oven for 5 or 10 minutes, and that'll cook it, get it a little more.
I thought I liked my.
The center.
Sorry, Mike, I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought I liked my steaks rare, but that one you cooked last night, man, it looked good, but it was rare, as my grandfather used to say.
Medium rare? Was that medium or was that rare?
No, that was full blown rare.
Wow.
Right there. If I'm cooking for other people, I'll generally cook them a little bit more done than that. But if I'm cooking a USDA prime ribeye for myself and using that high heat like that where I get a really good crust on the outside, I kind of like the contrast of that red rare center with that crispy crust on the outside.
It looks like it's been injected with a few bottles of Heinz.
I mean, it does look that red. I mean, and
My grandfather would say that he's seen cows sicker than that get well.
That's hilarious. So I was taught by Morton Steakhouse, man, Lee Rizzo himself. Rizzo. I've taught, he's like, if you don't eat a steak rare, you're not eating it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Totally agree there.
Josh, how's your cooking skills, buddy?
Just phenomenal.
Oh, it's great. Penley, we're going to talk about some or John and Josh are going to talk about some what not to do stuff. What would be one good what not to do tip before we let you go?
We're talking about preseason, Michael.
Yeah, preseason.
Yeah,
Don't
and leading
spend
up.
a whole lot of time right in the middle where you want to hunt. You know,
Yeah.
if you're going to scout, stay up on the hill. Scout, use your binoculars, play the wind. The last thing you want to do when those bucks are, they're right on the verge of shedding their velvet. This year they're probably going to shed right around opening day, maybe a little before. Those bachelor groups are already breaking up. You don't want to bump them because they're already in the mood to move somewhere. And you get in there and mess it up, they're going to head somewhere else.
Yeah, that's a good point. The research shows that deer are more likely to stick to whatever core area they've established in home range that they've established if they're bumped after, say, the second, third week of October, whereas the percentage of that deer deciding to relocate and choose a different home range and core area if spooked bad enough is much, much higher if spooked prior to that. So that's a great point. But yeah, solid info.
Absolutely.
Hey, right before we let you go here, I'm thinking you're a Reds fan. Are you a Reds fan, Penley?
I watch them occasionally. I'm a Western Kentucky guy, so I'm a St. Louis fan more than I am Cincinnati.
I was afraid of that. I thought maybe you were a Cardinal fan. Hey, I was going to tell you, man, Garrett had some breaking news. They just traded Scooter Gennett. Why would you do that?
They're trading everybody.
They're trading everybody. I guess after that, did you see that fight?
I
That
did.
brawl?
That was wild, wasn't it?
That was a great baseball fight.
The best part was Yasiel Puig had just been traded 40 minutes before
Yeah.
the fight, and then he still got in the fight with everybody.
Yeah.
That's a teammate I want.
Exactly.
And it's like
Hey, he
his
went
fifth.
in guns blazing too.
Oh,
buddy.
he did. He didn't make a good connection on that first
but
one.
he was ready for
All,
it.
all of these trades come down to two words: new plan.
And more money in
Yeah.
some cases. Hey, Penley.
That's
Go
the
ahead.
new
Did you
plan.
guys see the security guard?
Yeah, I saw the cop. He was kind of like having that just gaze off into the sunset. Like, I don't even know this is happening. Is there something happening?
Move along.
Move along. Nothing to see
Act like
here.
he pulled a hammy and couldn't get in there.
Oh my! Stand down.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. I wouldn't get in that mess either.
Boy, it was rough.
My goodness.
Now, what about the guy on the bottom of the pile?
Yeah, no kidding.
Ooh.
He's down there. That was like 10 minutes or
It
something.
was a
wasn't
while, yep.
I mean, he was down there for a while. It's a wonder somebody didn't come out there with a cast.
Might as well just go ahead and take a nap.
You know the fans had to love it though. It's like hockey on a baseball.
Hockey.
Probably
makes
like
it
a weighted blanket for him.
I guarantee it was like a weighted blanket, and it was hot. Hey, Penley, you're hot, man, and you can check him out at MickeyPenn70 on Twitter. Great follow. And Instagram, Mickey Penn Eats.
Easy now, Brian.
What? It's a great follow. He's a great follow. All these guys are great follows.
I was just in referencing the hot portion.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. I mean, hot like he's a hot ticket. You know, not not like he. I mean, he's a fine looking man. I mean, don't get that misconstrued, Penley. I don't want Cheryl coming down on me. She'd be mad.
Everybody just changed the station.
Yeah, everybody just turned us off. Hey, and so with that being said, hey, appreciate you, Penley, and see you next Wednesday, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate
Thanks, Michael.
it, man. Check him out online, no kidding, and thank you, Outback Steakhouse, Bowling Green, Kentucky, Scotts Road. Appreciate them staying with us for another contract term here on the show. Says we must be doing something right, folks. We're going to come back, moving it around a little bit tonight. Got the Rock Castle Shooting Center hunting segment coming up with Josh and John. Going to be a two-parter. Should be a lot of fun. And then around a quarter till, we'll get the old Nick and Nate Noble in here talking about catching some of them bass down there at Dell Hollow. Don't go anywhere. Southern Kentucky's Great Outdoors, ESPN Radio 1027.com.
It's boating season in Kentucky, and if you're looking to get on the water with a smile, Renegade Marine and Outdoor Center is the place to go. Check out the new Nitro Z20 for the ultimate bass getting experience. Or family fun in a Regency 230 DL3. You'll be the best parents on the lake. How about the best of both worlds in a 2019 Sun Tracker Bass Buggy 18 DLX? If you're needing fishing, tackle, boating accessories, or maybe a quality pre-owned boat, Renegade Marine has those too. So whether it's a Nitro, Sun Tracker, or Regency, Renegade Marine, your authorized Tracker Marine boat dealer, has your outdoor fun covered. 270-259-0001, renegademarine.net.
Single concert tickets for Orchestra Kentucky's new season are on sale now, featuring 50th anniversary celebrations of Woodstock and the release of the Beatles album Abbey Road, plus tributes to Nat King Cole, Paul Simon, Rodgers and Hammerstein, the Memphis Sound, John Williams, and more. Tickets start at only $17. Order yours online anytime at orchestrakentucky.com or call 270-846-2426 to charge by phone. Orchestra Kentucky presents a season of the music you love. The Beatles, Paul Simon, John Williams, on sale now. Call 270-846-2426. Sponsored by Jim and Darlene Johnson, Jim Johnson Nissan Hyundai, and the Haskins Foundation.
Hey, it's Nick Noble with the Rockcastle Gun Show here. We're talking about Swagger bipods. Do you want just your average barrel rest, or do you want to shoot with some swagger? Introducing the Swagger bipods. They expand your shooting zone with Swagger, the all-terrain hunting bipod. After more than 100 years, finally shooters have a bipod with patented, flexible, hyper-extending telescopic legs that give you the agility like never before. So get rid of stiff legs and get the bipod with infinite maneuverability. Swagger, the bipod that moves.
Man, what happened to your truck? Well, got myself a prize 10-point buck, and well, you can see where it was laying.
Nice bloodstain, dude. You should have seen Line-X of Bowling Green for a spray-in liner.
For whatever you get into, trust Line-X of Bowling Green with the largest auto aftermarket franchise in the nation. Pro installation of spray and bed liners, B&W gooseneck hitches, vent visors, bug shields, step bars, running boards, toolboxes, and WeatherTech floor mats. Line-X at BowlingGreen.com. Stop by 3351 Louisville Road at the Porter Pike and Plum Spring intersection.
This is a Morgan & Morgan consumer message.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. One of the most common and life-altering injuries that we see after a car crash is a herniated disc. Often it causes a lifetime of care, injections, and surgeries. A life where the most simple enjoyments become painful struggles. But insurance companies often refuse to pay for these injuries. They say disc herniation is no big deal. But we know the truth. We know how life-altering a disc herniation can be. We've won millions of dollars for clients with disc herniation because we know how devastating these injuries really are. If you have a herniated disc after a car crash, call us. You can reach us by dialing pound law on your cell phone. That's pound 529. Pound law, that's all. If you're injured in a car crash or at work, call us. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Offices Bowling Green.
And McCarty's coming in from the bullpen with no warm-up. I cannot believe this. We've never seen a pitcher come to the mound without warming up. Let's see what happens. Whoa, there's a long one. Oh, and another. Whoa, that's 7 home runs this inning. If he would have only warmed up.
In baseball, pitchers don't take the mound without warming up, so why would you take chances with your air conditioner when you need to cool down? Don't wait until it gets hot. Turn to the experts. Clean and service your unit today with Bowling Green Refrigeration, your authorized Carrier dealer. Bowling Green Refrigeration can service your Carrier unit and all other major units. Set up an appointment today. 270-782-5391. With a clean Carrier unit, there'll be no surprises this summer. Bowling Green Refrigeration. Your comfort is their concern.
Finally done. Oh, I need a steak right now.
No worries, mate. Outback Steakhouse at Bowling Green now delivers.
What? Who said that? I can have Outback at home?
Just sit back, relax, put an order in at Outback.com and they'll bring your Aussie favourites right to your door.
Thank you, oh great spirit of the Outback.
What? Oh, no, mate. I'm just a figment of your imagination. And remember to take your shoes off at the door. Got grass stains everywhere last time.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Outback Steakhouse at Bowling Green delivers. Start your order right now at Outback.com.
The hunting in East Beverly Hills getting sorrier every day. Me and Duke went as far back in the brush as you could go. The only thing we flushed out was a couple of real estate agents.
It's time to do some hunting on SOKY's Great Outdoors. Brought to you by Rock Castle Shooting Center at Park Mammoth Resort, 22850 Louisville Road in Park City, Kentucky.
Hey, thanks everybody for sticking around. We've got a great part of the show. The whole show's good, so it's just another facet of it that's awesome, and can't wait to hear some of these don'ts in the deer hunting world preseason. John Kirby, Josh Honeycutt going to unveil it right here, man. Can't wait, fellas.
Yeah, John, crank this thumb gun off for us.
Yeah, let's do it, man. So I just feel like we're all the time telling people what to do, or at least giving our opinion on what we do, and so
we're so obnoxious.
Yeah, really. We'll change it up a little bit, maybe kind of talk about things not to do, kind of between now and opening day, bow season, which is fast approaching.
September 7th.
Yep. So not too far away. And with that said, I'll start it off here. And one thing I think is overlooked, especially by guys that are mechanical shooters, they just assume, because they've always heard maybe, that mechanicals fly just like your field points. And while in a lot of cases they do, or at least very, very close, not all of them do. So don't forget to get out and confirm your broadheads, and dedicate a couple broadheads to practice with too. I think that's something that's overlooked a lot. Josh, what do you got, buddy?
Yeah, one that I have is simply just losing focus. It's easy to lose focus whenever you're doing anything hunting related. It doesn't matter if you're actually hunting. It doesn't matter if you are simply preparing or scouting. And it's even easier to lose focus and slip up and make a mistake whenever you're not hunting, whenever you're scouting. It's easier to take a route into an area to put a trail camera up that you know you shouldn't take or wouldn't take if you're hunting. You might not be as apt to worry about the wind whenever you're walking into glass from afar or pull a card on a camera whenever it's the middle of summer versus when you're hunting, but you have to make sure you have that hunting mentality in mind even when you're not hunting.
Absolutely. That's a great point, Josh. And I think preseason scouting like that, anytime you're going to go in and do some glass, and even from afar, I use that time to brush up on my skills, right? It's been 9 months close to 9 months since we've deer hunted last, and we're rusty as hunters. If you don't use those skills, they get rusty. So using that time to brush up on your skills, and really you are hunting when you're scouting. You got to get in and out with good entry and exit routes. You got to stay undetected, or you do more harm than good. No doubt about that. And actually, that was going to be my next one, Josh, was just talking about not overlooking entry and exit routes. And, this time of year, early season, these bucks, if you're seeing them during daylight, chances are you're really close to where they're bedding. So entry and exit
they're bedding
routes,
pretty close to the food this time of year anyway.
They're always bedded close to the food this
Sometimes
time of year.
in the food.
Sometimes in the food, that's right. And so I just think it's so important. Entry and exit routes are always important, but I feel like this time of year, it can be easily overlooked.
Right, and the good news is if they're doing that right now, there's a good chance they'll be doing that for the first week or so of the season. So, you don't want to screw up those patterns. You don't want to alter what they're doing now when there's a good chance that they're still going to be doing that, whenever you can go put an arrow in one of them's ribcage.
Absolutely, and like Josh said, and he and I have talked about this on the show before, bumping a deer this time of year, if you booger it up real bad, he's got a better chance of relocating, more so than he does in October, November time frame. Josh, with that said, what's another one not to do?
Following old habits that you shouldn't follow. Don't follow old habits that you've since learned aren't good things to do, or bad practices, or things that might not be in your best interest. And that's a wide array of things. It's a blanket statement, but just if you've learned throughout the years that something doesn't work, or you realize that it might not be quite what you thought it was, don't fall back into that old habit simply because it's what you used to do. If you know better.
Right, absolutely, man. I couldn't agree more. Going back to the bow thing, I know a lot of people are busy. I know we all are busy. And sometimes you can kind of forget to practice, and you want to cram in a bunch of practice the week prior to bow season, and that's just not a good way to go about it for a number of reasons. One, it's a great way to injure yourself because you haven't used those bow pulling muscles in a while. But also, if you're a kind of guy that's cramming in that last week, all the shooting you can do, and you shoot fatigued a lot, it's a great way for bad habits to creep in.
Absolutely. The next thing I've got on my list is failing to relearn properties. You don't want to just go on your past knowledge alone. A prime example of this is where I've killed my deer for the last, 15, 16, 17, and 18, for the last 4 years. I've killed my deer in the same location, the same 100-yard area for the last 4 years, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. But here's the kicker. I had to relearn what the deer were doing each year.
Yep.
Just because I've killed those deer in the same vicinity each year, if I hadn't have re-scouted and repatterned and relearned the specific bucks that I was hunting each year, I wouldn't have been in the game. Because even though I killed those deer all within the same 80 to 100-yard radius, or technically diameter if you really want to get down to it, they all four came from exact different directions and were bedding in 4 completely different locations.
Yeah, that's a great point, I think. And that's something else we talk about a lot, Josh, is how important past experience, past encounters, and knowledge of a property is. But it's easy to kind of get stagnant, so to speak, and rely on that too much. Yeah. And like you said, if had you done that the last couple of years with bucks not moving exactly like the one did the year before, you very well might not have closed the deal, right?
Yeah, and I was hunting in a little small micro plot, little kill plot areas is kind of the focal point. I didn't kill them all in that plot, but that was kind of the focal point or the center point for each of those 4 hunts or those 4 deer. And interestingly enough, it's got cover on almost 4 sides, not quite. But the 2015 deer was bedded to the northwest. The 2016 deer was bedded to the east. The 2017 deer was bedded to the southwest. And then the 2018 deer from last year was bedded to the northwest. They are all bedded in completely different locations, not just using different beds, but different bedding areas.
Right. Yep.
So you got to relearn properties each year. Doesn't matter if you've hunted the place for 2 years or 20 years.
Exactly. That's a great point, Josh. I'm glad you said that. Really good stuff. One other quick thing I'll just throw out there is if you use climbing stands, regardless if you use climbers, lock-ons, ladders, it doesn't matter. Make sure you check those. If you've left some lock-ons out from the previous years, make sure and check those straps, man. They can go bad quick and make for a long day if you fall out of a deer stand. That's just not good. So check your equipment, not just stands, but all your equipment. Go over it with a fine-tooth comb.
Absolutely, and don't overthink things. We're all about analysis. We're all about scouting and planning and using data and information to go on, and that's crucial. But at the same time, don't overthink it so much that you end up going against your gut. At the end of the day, your gut is your best tool. It's your best. It's your best resource. So don't overthink it. Don't let yourself. Don't talk yourself out of something when you know that's probably the right answer.
Yep, go with the gut.
You gotta let it never fails in life and not just in hunting. I mean, you always go with your gut.
Absolutely, Brian. We know we can tell you go with your gut.
I've gone a few times with mine. And speaking of carnivores, are you a carnivore? It's time for the Hunter Games, and registration is open. You can go to recoilweb.com/Hunter Games, and guess what? That's going to be at our buddies at the Rock Castle Shooting Center. Enjoy rifle, archery, wing shooting competitions. See the latest in outdoor gear. Try your hand in some fun side matches. That's the best. Bring the whole family. Enjoy this inaugural event at Rock Castle Shooting Center. And I'll tell you what, John, I hope to see you in that. I'd like to get in it too. The Hunter Games Rifle Competition is designed to test your marksmanship with the rifle you'll use this fall hunting, John. And I know you've got quite a few. All in the realistic hunting scenarios. Hunter Division requires 20 to 40 rounds of ammunition, while the Carnivore Division demands 40 to 80 longer shots, harder targets. Get up there, check them out, and we'll be right back with the Rock Castle Shooting Center hunting segment here on Southern Kentucky's Great Outdoors, ESPN Radio 1027.com.
This is a Morgan & Morgan consumer message.
If you've been in a car crash or suffered an injury, This could be the most important message you'll ever hear. Almost always, the person refusing to pay you is not the person who caused the injury. It's their insurance company. State Farm, Geico, Allstate, and the like. They make billions and billions of dollars by keeping as much money as they can in their own pockets. Big companies with the deepest pockets and an army of lawyers, literally thousands. But at Morgan & Morgan, we too have an army of lawyers. And you know what else? Many of our lawyers came from the same insurance companies we now fight against. If you're injured in a car crash, slip and fall, or the victim of medical malpractice, our Army will fight like hell for you. Just dial Pound Law on your cell phone. That's pound 529. Pound Law, that's all. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Offices Bowling Green.
So what's the deal with Big Green Egg Grills? Mike Keith here, letting you know if you're looking to grill, smoke, or bake on the highest quality grill out there, you need to see Bowling Green Fireplace and Grill. They have the Big Green Egg, #1 for over 25 years and with good reason. With a lifetime warranty and best-in-class ceramics, this thing is awesome. There are no chemicals in Big Green Egg Lump Charcoal. And Bowling Green Fireplace and Grill has the best price in town. Just off the bridge on Old Louisville Road. BowlingGreenFireplace.com.
It's boating season in Kentucky, and if you're looking to get on the water with a smile, Renegade Marine and Outdoor Center is the place to go. Check out the new Nitro Z20 for the ultimate bass getting experience. Or family fun in a Regency 230 DL3. You'll be the best parents on the lake. How about the best of both worlds in a 2019 Sun Tracker Bass Buggy 18 DLX? If you're needing fishing, tackle, boating accessories, or maybe a quality pre-owned boat, Renegade Marine has those too. So whether it's a Nitro, Sun Tracker, or Regency, Renegade Marine, your authorized Tracker Marine boat dealer, has your outdoor fun covered. 270-259-0001, renegademarine.net.
Welcome back. Man, that was a good discussion. I think you guys are going to chat a little bit of that and close. Put a bow on that, John. While we're getting started up, fueling your outdoor lifestyle, Pabst Beef Jerky. Go to PAPSJERKY.com and pick up some Pabst hot beef jerky. John, you like the spicy, don't you?
Oh, I love spicy, man. I eat jalapenos and hot sauce on there.
Jalapenos!
I'm a connoisseur of fine hot sauces.
I knew you were. I've been around you long enough to know what you like.
That's right. I like spicy. What about you?
I like I like a mild if it's spicy. I don't like a hot as much. Blake does, my kid, and Ben likes that stuff. But I just Dad loves it. You a hot guy, Garrett? You like?
Yes. Are you going flaming hot Cheetos or
flaming
jalapeno Cheetos?
Both. How about combined?
Okay, that's cheating. But
Josh, you a hot, spicy kind of guy, or you like me, kind of mellow, mild?
I'm pretty mild.
Yeah, me and you too, buddy. Guys, put a bow on that. That was a great discussion. We got a few minutes before we get the Rock Castle boys in talking about their Del Holiday fishing trip on the Renegade Marine. So put a bow on her.
Keep it flowing, John.
Yeah, man. One other thing I'll say, just going back to I've already mentioned a couple of things about shooting your bow and your broadheads, but I think it's really important to practice from an elevated. If you're going to be hunting from a stand, you definitely want to get a little preseason practice in hunting, practicing from an elevated spot. Things change a little bit, especially if you get up there past 20 feet. Those angles can do some funky things, so I think practicing those shots are important.
Absolutely. When it comes to your preseason scout and stuff, don't just go scout to go scout. You need to scout like you hunt. Whenever fall, bow season opens up, and you're picking and choosing your days and finding those high odds afternoons that are, have the right conditions. You need to do the same thing when you're glassing from afar this summer and the remainder of the preseason because, just because it's summer doesn't mean deer are going to move of an afternoon. Most times they will. But you need to scout like you hunt and scout and glass from afar on those days that offer high odds situations, cool fronts, rain events early in the afternoon or mid-afternoon, drop in temperatures, all the different factors that play into increased movement. Factor that in and go scout and glass on the days that offer those situations.
Yeah, that's good stuff there, Josh. I think, too, just one quick point I'll make about morning hunting. Early season, I don't do a lot of morning hunting, Josh. I know you don't either, I don't believe. But there are some times when I will hunt the morning early season. And I think people make a mistake a lot of times by coming out a little too early. I've seen it over the years, a lot of trail cam intel and my own personal sightings. Even mature bucks, man, they move even when it's hot. Maybe not great distances, but if you're in the right area and you're close enough to their bedding area, chances are you might catch a glimpse of them. And so I think, just to conclude that, don't get out of the woods too early, even early season.
Absolutely. Great point. You know, something else when it comes to your glassing, you know, there are several different factors you want to include and incorporate. And remember, you want to make sure, obviously, that you have the wind. You don't want to take entry-exit routes that are going to spook deer. So you got to keep in mind the wind when you're walking in and from your glassing location. But I'll tell you, one of the most important things beyond that is the sun. You know, you and I were over there glassing one particular farm that I hunt, 2 weeks ago, I think it was, and we were just getting blasted by the sun and couldn't really glass because it was dead in our face until right at sunset. So, and there were deer out in the field the whole time. We couldn't tell what they were. We didn't know if they were does, big bucks, little bucks, coyotes. We couldn't tell what they were. We just saw bodies out there. So keep in mind the sun when in the sun's location whenever you're out there glassing.
That's a great point, Josh. And when you're hunting too, and glassing, like you just said, not only does the sun in your face mess with our vision, it aids in the deer's vision. If you swap that around and you get the sun at your back, not only does that help our vision, but it kind of decreases their vision. So you kind of got to use that to your advantage, no doubt. It's a good point. What else you got?
You know, scent is, we talked to Bill Winkie last week, and, you know, scent is a big factor. You know, I don't think that simply wearing rubber boots is a big factor or a big improvement or help whenever it comes to reducing how much scent you leave on the ground when you're walking in and out. You know, scent falls from your entire body. It's not just a contact-based deal. Scent falls. It's the same way when a doe is in estrus in the fall. She doesn't just leave scent on the ground from her feet. You know, scent is falling to the ground. Science has proven that scent falls from our bodies, our entire bodies, and is in the air, it's on the ground. So the only way that you can really can reduce that in a big way when it comes to going afield and trying to reduce scent is by wearing waders all the way up to basically your shoulders or chest. And that's really the only tried and true method to reduce big volume speaking, the amount of scent that you're leaving behind whenever you're walking in and out.
And even then, Josh, if you don't store those waders properly, those things might have a ton of scent on them. So even storing those properly plays a role.
Moldy. They get moldy.
Yeah, but that's a big factor. So, you know, the biggest thing when it comes to scent is just making sure that you are walking in places that deer don't frequent. You can't really fool a deer's nose. You just have to think about how the deer use the property and then maneuver that property in a way that's not going to put your scent in. Well, it's still going to be caught. There's going to be deer that catches your scent. They're going to walk across your trail, but you got to use it in a way and maneuver it in a way that is going to reduce the likelihood of that happening.
Good stuff.
I'll tell you what's good stuff. It's Josh Honeycutt and John Kirby. I mean, I can't get enough of it, and I know that other people can't get enough of it either. You guys are just, you're like Barnum and Bailey's. I mean, the tickets just fly right off the counter. Hey, don't go anywhere. We're going to come back, but I want to add one of those not twos, John, and you give me a nod if I'm good or bad on it. You harvest a big buck, and you say you're 150, 60 pounds like me. Don't try to drag that thing out. Isn't it better if you go to the Vance store in Glasgow and Bowling Green and pick up a new Can-Am Defender XMR to do the dirty work for you? The Vance store offers outdoor enthusiasts Can-Am Benchy Power Sports, also outdoor power equipment like Gravely, Snapper Pro, Simplicity, Skag Right, Echo, and Steel equipment. They're also an authorized Briggs and Stratton.
You been doing that a while?
What?
That.
Dragging stuff out?
Yeah, no, just rattling off.
I do it all the time.
I thought so. No, that's a great tip for all the listeners, but I think you personally should still drag it out.
I will drag it out because
get rid of some of that energy.
There you go. That's my workout. Save me a membership at a gym. Hey, don't go anywhere. Appreciate John Kirby and Josh Honeycutt laying that out. That is great stuff. It's what we do here on Southern Kentucky's Great Outdoors, and we're coming up with the Renegade Marine and Outdoor Center fishing segment with two of my favorite guys on the whole Big Blue Marble. Nick and Nate Noble went down to one of my other favorite guys, Dale Holliday. We're going to find out all about him. We're also going to get Dale Holliday on the line on the Line-X hotline. Line-X Bedliners, Roger Gina. Don't go anywhere. Southern Kentucky's Great Outdoors, ESPN Radio 1027.com.
In stores now, Pabst Grippo's Beef Jerky. We have taken the great Pabst Beef Jerky and married it with the iconic Grippo's barbecue seasoning. This is a marriage made in beef jerky heaven. The thin cut of Pabst Beef Jerky is dusted to perfection with Grippo's seasoning. Once you try it, you will know no other beef jerky compares. So the next time you're headed on a road trip to the lake or your favorite golf course, be sure to have Pabst Beef Jerky fueling your outdoor lifestyle. PabstJerky.com. Ask for us at your local store.
Although hunting to most of us is much more than just harvesting animals, why not better your deer herd's health with Big & J Long Range Attractant? Big & J is highly digestible, high in protein, and isn't full of preservatives. With Big & J Long Range Attractants, you're not only exploiting one of the few weaknesses whitetails have, their stomachs, but you're maximizing antler growth, improving overall herd health, and pulling deer from your neighbor's property. So whether your goals are to fill the freezer, kill mature bucks, or both, Big & J Long Range Attractants will stack the odds in your favor, all the while making your deer herd bigger and healthier.
This is Nate from Rock Castle Shooting Center. Did you know that one of the premier shooting ranges in the world is right here in South Central Kentucky? Rock Castle Shooting Center has something for everyone's recreational shooting enjoyment. From 3D archery to our brand new sporting clays course, handgun ranges full of steel to targets out to a mile. There's no better place to get some trigger time than Rock Castle Shooting Center. Non-members are welcome, and memberships start at $150 per year. We offer a fantastic range of firearms training and education opportunities from the most basic to the most advanced. Come see us, exit 48 on I-65, Park City, Kentucky. Visit rockcastleshootingcenter.com.
Bowling Green Refrigeration, Heating, and Cooling is a very reputable HVAC company with over 25 years of keeping those of us in South Central Kentucky's comfort their concern. And right now they have a rare opportunity to join their team. Are you a licensed HVAC technician or journeyman? Are you currently in this industry and don't feel challenged? If so, Bowling Green Refrigeration, Heating, and Cooling would like for you to come by their offices at 130 Vanderbilt Court and apply in person for this rewarding extenuation of your career. Bowling Green Refrigeration, Heating, and Cooling team members enjoy excellent benefits including competitive wages, cell phone, company truck, uniforms, paid holidays, paid vacations, insurance, just to name a few. If all this sounds good and you're a licensed and highly motivated HVAC journeyman and would like to inquire about joining this established company, you can also give Brad Thomas a call at 270-782-5391 and schedule a time to sit down with them. Equal opportunity employer.
A lot of words can describe Gravely mowers. Tough, smart, powerful, but there are two words that cut through them all. Thank you. After 100 years, we owe it all to the hard-working lawn professionals. You are the driving force behind our story, the ones that inform our design and our decisions. You are responsible for inspiring the most legendary Gravely zero-turn lineup to date. Zero turns that are tough as nails. Operator comfort beyond compare. Smarter, easier, more intuitive controls. So go ahead, climb aboard an all-new Gravely zero-turn mower. Experience a machine built for professionals by professionals. At the end of the day, give yourself a well-deserved pat on the back. This generation of Gravely is the performance you've always wanted. All we did was listen. Gravely, driven from within. See the Vance store in Bowling Green and Glasgow.
Folks.
It's time to go fishing with Renegade Marine and Outdoor Center at 415 Commerce Drive, Litchfield, Kentucky on SOKY's Great Outdoors.
Welcome back. Southern Kentucky's Great Outdoors during the Renegade Marine and Outdoor Center in Litchfield, Kentucky, right off the Parkway at Commerce Drive up there. Go see Big John Newton Sherbert. RenegadeMarine.net. You can check out the inventory online, and I'll tell you what, no place better. They'll do you right up there for sure. Guys, this is a treat for me because I got three guys in the room here. I got one on the line that I think the world of, and one of them's Dale Holliday, and then Nick and Nate Noble. Just went down. We're going to recap. First of all, before we bring Dave in, I mean, how cool was it?
It was cool and really cool. And I just want to say that last segment that Josh and John did.
Oh, it was great, wasn't it?
It's my new motto, don't suck. and Dale Hollow Dave does not suck.
He does not.
He's been doing it a long time, and the ease with which we caught fish in the middle of the summer, one of the hottest times. I mean I used to bass fish professionally, and it's not an easy thing to do, especially on that lake. And we saw a lot of people not catching fish.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? We've been hearing Del Hollow Dave on this show for the last couple of years. That we've been associated with the show right after it. So I mean, there's just so many times you can hear that and say, you know, we got to go do this. You know, and I've caught some smallmouth bass in my life, but I've never caught that many smallmouth bass on the middle of a hot summer day, and it was incredible.
Well, you guys were lucky enough to grow up with a father that is a true outdoorsman and knows how to do a lot of things, and that's where you guys get some of your innate abilities, Nate and Nick. But let's bring him in tonight on the Line X Hotline. We got one and only Del Hollow Dave. I call him the Elvis of Del Hollow Lake because everybody knows. What's up, Dave?
Hey guys, thanks.
Man, I'm trying to get my hair like yours after spending a day with you on the boat, man.
Hey, Dave, now we know where Brian Webb's he's trying to get his hair like yours, too. So he wants to be the Elvis of Bowling Green.
That's right.
So are you on the lake right now, Dave?
Yeah, I actually am. I'm trolling for a little walleye.
Nice.
Trolling for walleyes.
Down in that special spot you took us?
One of them.
Right on. Hey, Dave, you were, I just want to give you some props. You know, I had never, I've been on chartered fishing boats and stuff, but it's been all, you know, out in the ocean and that kind of thing. I'd never really gone with a guide on a freshwater lake and didn't know what to expect. I haven't really used downriggers, and I'll screw up all the terminology and everything else, but you got a recipe, a secret sauce that we're not even going to get into on how you do it. But you know that lake, you've been on it for a long time, and you know I thought that there was a good chance we were going to catch some good fish because we've been watching your Facebook posts, your social media, and everything else. But by goodness, you told us what you were going to do, and you just started throwing knowledge on us on what the tactics and the plans were, and you just started executing. And I mean, you've been on that lake, you know, like the back of the hand, and I mean, it was incredible. That depth of knowledge, you learned it all from experience, or, you know, were you taught early on about it, or how'd this all come about?
No, it's actually just time on the water. You know, it's over 30 years on the lake. I started sailing it about 30 years ago. Honestly, I had one hand on the tiller of my 20 horsepower, and I was holding one rod with a deep diving fat wrap on there, and that's how I started trolling for smallmouth. And it was a lot of fun catching them that way. You know, and, you know, just as you feel them nail it while you were holding the rod, you know, and we just got an increased chance with the multiple rods. You know, I kind of read the regulations and found out I was allowed 3 at the time, so I started brainstorming from just holding that one, trying to figure out how I could bungee strap another one down, or, you know, before I knew about rod holders or anything like that. And then it just kind of all came together. It was kind of pre-internet, so it was a lot of, you know, reading some magazines and, you know, looking at pictures and books and a bunch of trial and error, you know.
Yeah, and we caught everything, Brian. We caught smallmouth bass, largemouth bass, spotted bass, Kentucky bass, whatever you want to call them, channel cats, walleye, and, you know.
And a trout.
Yeah,
so
yeah, I was just saying, I thought we had
we almost ran the gamut on species
No, you
on
did.
the lake on one day.
No, wait. Wasn't there a gar? Was there not a gar? I guess there was.
No, that one we didn't get the gar. But you showed us a cool picture of a gar and eating another fish or something.
That's right.
and then the other part of the knowledge that was impressive was like, okay, right now we're going to go fish for smallmouth, and you set the boat up for it. Then we were like, all right, we've caught a bunch of smallmouth, let's go for walleye, and you were like, all right, then let's switch everything out, and we're going to go do this. And by God, we caught walleye. So just knowing exactly what you're doing, and obviously there's a lot to the time of year and the place and the tactic, because you explained to us what you do in the spring and what you do in the fall, and you know when the spawn's going on, and the tactic changes, but you got your game on, and that was pretty cool to learn from you.
Yeah, and I'll say this, Dave. It should be on everybody's bucket list to fish with you at least once in their life.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. Well, I really appreciate that, guys.
You're talking less than I've ever heard you talk on the radio. But no, Dave is. But, and less than I've ever heard him talk, but I know what he's doing. He's walleye fishing. And he's got to pay attention to what's going on, because it's subtle.
Right now, and my boards while I'm, I'm doing it all.
It's subtle, and you're paying attention, so I get it.
Guys, I really appreciate it.
No, that's cool, and I know you get people from all over the country coming in there, all over the region coming in there. You spend a lot of time on the lake. I mean, when you're not working on the lake, you're fishing on the lake for yourself. You're living on a houseboat here and there when you're not at home with your family. And how'd it go getting that? Have you gotten that houseboat, that big houseboat, back up to Del Hollow yet?
Oh yeah, that was an amazing journey. Basically, it took us 9 hours to get it. It started and it ran all the way up there, 9 hours up Old Hickory Lake. And we finally got to where we had to be, and they picked it up the next morning, and we got it back on Dale, and it's here at Willow Grove. Nice. So it's kind of a neat story with it, because it was made on the lake, back in 1959, and then it was here for a little while, then it was up in St. Louis for a while, and it moved around and ended up on Old Hickory, and now, 60 years later, it's back on Dale Hollow.
She's
so,
come
kind
home
of a
to
neat
roost.
story with it.
That's cool. Come home to roost.
Hey, Dave, getting back on fishing just a little bit. I can't think of a worse time of the year or a part of the day. We were catching some of our biggest smallmouth bass on Del Hollow in the middle of summer.
It's amazing.
Middle of July on a hot day, crystal blue, clear skies. Luckily, we got a little bit of humidity down that day, and it wasn't brutal like it was a couple days before. But I can't imagine a worse time of the year to say you're going to go out and catch 24 fish on any lake in America than the middle of the summer, middle of the day. But you've just got that stuff dialed in.
Yeah. It's all just about following their feeding patterns, and with the alewives in the lake, it just it moves them out there, to the middle where trolling just makes it more accessible, and with it being the suspended forage, they can find their temperatures they want to be at, so they're not uncomfortable like you think they might be. So,
yeah, and what impresses me about you and the knowledge that you were kind of throwing on us, and we're not going to give up any of your secrets, but a lot of people don't fish the lake the same way you do. And one of the things you said over and over again is like, hey, I'm not afraid to make mistakes. I'm not afraid to do some trial and error and just experiment with some different baits and different things, different depths, different, everything. And that really has played out, and it's really let you hone that thing in.
Yeah. There's no rules to fishing. A lot of people seem to think there's certain ways to do this or that. I mean, there really is no rules. You can, like I think I mentioned to you guys that I had caught a big rainbow trout down deep on a downrigger on a whopper popper, 40, 50 foot down, and that's and I just tried that, because why not? We catch a lot of fish on whopper poppers and see what it would do down deep instead of on the surface, and you find out that the fish like them down there too. So.
Well, I just want to know, did either one of the Noble brothers set the hook like Brian Webb does?
No, they knew what they were doing.
I pulled a Tournament Bassmaster Classic on my first hook set, and these guys just died. It was hilarious. Hey, I want to say this, and we got a couple minutes left here before we roll into the Rock Castle Gun Show. Got them here right now. Dave, I will say this. I don't know a lot about a lot of things, but I do know I can feel confident talking business. I do know business, and one of the main things in business is retention and repeat offenders, if you will. And I tell you what, that is something that you do better, that you really, when we say there's not an opening or you better get in there if there's an opening, we're not joking. I mean, it is hard. Everybody knows how good Del Hollow Dave is. And I want to say to Nick and Nate, after getting to experience their property, the Rock Castle Shooting Center, same thing. Lots of repeat offenders. You cannot get enough of the Rock, and I it's just an honor to know both you and the Nobles, and I'm so glad that you guys got to put it in a melting pot and do it together. And I wish I could have been there, but I was there in spirit.
He was like creeping on our Facebook and text and stuff all day and text.
Yeah, I'm sure he was talking us that day. I told him we were getting skunked. I knew he didn't believe me.
Yeah, we caught a few, but hey, we caught over 20 fish. I think we ended up with 24, 25.
26,
and 26.
Dog days of
and
summer.
It was just, dog days of summer. It was a treat. Del Hollow Dave, we will, like I told you when we left, we're going to continue to send people to you, and thank you. You're a wealth of knowledge, and that is one of the premier smallmouth bass fishing lakes in the world. I mean, it's where the actual
world record came out of. And if
That's
you want to go
right.
fish it with somebody that knows exactly what they're doing, it's Del Hollow Dave.
And the guy who owns that world record, Dave, lives right up the road in Litchfield, Kentucky, where Renegade Marine is. And I want to thank you. You can follow Dave on Facebook. He's got his phone number on there, everything. But great follow. Dave, we appreciate you, man. Thanks for taking these guys out and showing them what you do.
Oh, man, no problem. Anytime, guys. And thanks for letting me on again.
Oh, you kidding me? Unless we get canceled, you're going to be on plenty of time.
All right.
And
Well,
canceled's a
enjoy
possibility.
And canceled is always a possibility. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you.
All right.
Have a good one. Del Holiday right there. Folks, we're going to turn it over to these guys. Hey, guys, appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for doing the fishing segment. And a lot of fun, man. And you got the Hunter games coming up. That's awesome.
Yeah, and we're going to talk a little bit about Sasquatch because it was just seen in Mammoth Cave National Park.
Shot at Sasquatch.
Here's the thing. I was out there looking for dry land fish. I don't know why everybody starts shooting at me and they're doing. I don't get it, man. So you guys don't tell anybody I was there. But hey, just stick around. Rock Castle Gun Show. Thank you for listening to Southern Kentucky's Great Outdoors here on ESPN. Check us out on iTunes and ESPNKY.com.